Okay, yo, what's up? Fun fact. Public corporations are not the same as private businesses. In fact, they're not even as part of the same. Well, you actually see they're actually public corporations, all of them, if they're a corporation and have stocks which you can buy, their shares of ownership, shares, stocks, whatever. Basically, that is a form of the public state hierarchy, which means that they're actually part of the public sector. And that means that a corporation like Microsoft, Alphabet, whatever, they actually rely on the government to keep them propped up. So you see, in a free market, you wouldn't actually have corporations. The only businesses that could grow of any potential size is probably transportation. They would probably be able to get a little bit bigger than what a regular business can get. But then again, there is a natural tendency for the market to shift production to lines of smaller businesses than larger ones. So if you had a free market, corporations like Microsoft and Alphabet would be fucked. Tesla too. They all rely on the government to regulate with the competition to keep them going. Even though a lot of people like to pretend that, oh yeah, Google and Alphabet, Tesla and Microsoft, they're totally private corporations, not realizing that in fact that's an oxymoronic term, because a corporation is in fact body, corporation. They're part of the public state hierarchy. They're part of the public sector. They don't have the necessary efficiency to actually survive in a free market. That's why you need socialistic policy to keep these corporations from falling apart, which is why FDR, Herbert Hoover, were actually printing loads of money to keep propping up failing corporations during the Great Depression when the market was trying to correct itself. Instead, he just kept worsening and prolonging the Great Depression using his social spending. Now, FDR was actually limited by the Constitution, so he wasn't able to implement as much fascist policy as, say, Italy or Nazi Germany. I mean, it's not really fascist, but they're basically pretty close. The Nazis were basically socialists. The fascists were basically syndicalists, national syndicalists. And of course, Franco is closer to syndicalism, but it's also a little bit more towards the socialist part of his economics. They're all different versions of socialism, though. If you look at it from a broader perspective, I mean, you got Marxist socialism, class socialism, racial socialism, Nazism, and you got national socialism, which is fascism. So racial socialism, class socialism, and national socialism. Blah.